Well, good afternoon. This is Walt Cobb from the Southeastern Food Bank, and it's so good to be with you this afternoon. And we have a special guest with us today, and I want to welcome him. But first of all, I want to welcome each of you, and thank you for being with us today as you watch this little presentation. So let me welcome Scott Thomas with Stewardship Matters, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how we can donate from our retirement accounts. What do you think? Let's go, Scott.
Yeah. There was an old saying years ago. They captured Willie Sutton. Willie Sutton was a guy who was robbing banks. They said, "Why do you rob banks?" He says, "That's where the money is." And so if you think about the money today, for a lot of people, it's in retirement accounts. We're talking about 70 and a half and older. And at age 72, you have to take required minimum distribution. So you're forced to take money out. Well, guess what? If you take money out of an IRA or 401k and you're taking that money out and then you're stroking a check to a charity, oftentimes we're not getting deductions. It's estimated that only about 17% of the American population is itemizing that they actually could get a deduction, that are, less or even getting the deduction, because it has to be a pretty high number for a married couple. That's almost $30,000. That's a lot.
Wow.
And so when you think about that, it's like, okay, well, how can you give smart? Okay, so the government's going to require you to take money out and they're going to tax you, and then you're probably not going to get a deduction for it, most likely. So under the qualified charitable distribution, QCD, that's qualified charitable distribution, if you're over the age 70 and a half, you can start taking money out. The maximum's $100,000 in a calendar year. And you can take money out and it counts as your required minimum distribution, and it's tax neutral, which means that it doesn't add to your income to potentially make your Social Security taxes go up or your Medicare jump you into another bracket. There's 5 brackets for Medicare. So the qualified charitable distribution is really efficient and it's wonderful. And I love sharing this with people. This isn't tax advice, but it's strategy advice that people need to know. How can I give more powerfully? How can I do it in a tax savvy way?
Well, this has been very helpful for me because I fought every year having to take money out of my qualified, my required minimum distribution because it has increased my tax bracket and caused me to have to pay more taxes. So this is great information for me personally, I can tell you.
Yeah. One other thing people need to know about required minimum distribution is every year, okay, it used to be 70 and a half, now it's 72 is when it starts. And every year that percentage goes up. So it starts off about 3.4%, and then it's moving up. And before you know it, you're paying 5, 6, 7%. And you're going, I don't want this money. I'm just getting more taxes. And so oftentimes that just creates more of a dilemma. And so this is one of the ways to reduce the burden of it, and give to wonderful qualified charities. You can't give it to your grandson. It's given to qualified charities. Make sense?
Makes sense to me. But now what would I need to do to get this started?
Sure. So you could reach out to Southeastern Food Bank. You could talk to Fran. You could talk to Mark or any of the people over there, and they'll direct you back to me. And I would love to have a conversation. I'm not charging for this. I give of my time, talents, and treasures. I love knowing the board members. And in fact, I was at Southeastern Food Bank today and visiting with Mark and out in looking at the goods and the people, and just love the organization and everything that they do. So I love giving back to them.
Well, you've been of value to our organization, I can tell you that. I've served on the board not absolutely on the board, but served Southeastern Food Bank in a variety of ways over the last 20 years. And I know what an organization they are, and I know what you have done to contribute to the organization. So we appreciate what you've done, and we appreciate what we believe is going to happen in the future as a result of you telling us about the required minimum distribution.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on today.
You're welcome.